Hi, welcome back to this channel. If this is not your first time, but if this is your first time, welcome home. We hope you become a part of the community by subscribing to this channel. And of course, you need to click on the bell icon that will pop up. That is what is going to let you know when we have new updates for you. All right, let's get into it. Now, Ibadan had a new Olubadan on the 26th of September 2025. If you did not know that there was a coronation going on, and all of those things, because maybe you're not from there or you don't keep track with what is going on in Ibadan or your state, Nigeria, you must have seen the thread, right, on social media with people especially bashing the guest artist that performed, Taye Currency, Fuji artist, and people, bashing his choice of words, saying some of the lyrics he used were not, acceptable according to them, for a coronation, and they suggested bigger people. But that is not what you're talking about here. It's on this channel, all of that gist. You can catch it here. Now we are going to talk about the current Olubadan himself, because this man was a senator. This man was a governor. And while he was even a governor, he had to face so many things. His deputy governor became governor while he was governor. Things happened. But then he was patient and he became the Oba, the Olubadan of Ibadan. Now let's talk about the journey of this 81-year-old man. He clocked 81 on the 25th of September 2025. His coronation, the culmination of his coronation happened on the 26th of September 2025. It was a week-long event that culminated in top dignitaries in the nation, including the sitting president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, attending. Now, let's talk about this man's journey and how did he get to where he is today, because his family members, his friends, his supporters, if you really do your digging, well, this is why I'm here. I've done the digging and I've come to realize that a lot of persons in Ibadan really like him, even if you're not an indigenous, as long as you were maybe in the state or you had people in the state while he was governor in Oyo State, they have a deep love for him, saying it started paying civil servants, civil workers, 13th month. It was under his administration that happened in Oyo State. He never owed salary, he didn't pay half salary, and all of these things, because it's even evidence. If you see the kind of gifts that Oba Rasheed Ladoja, got for just from well-wishers over his ascension as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, this man grew up in Ibadan, Oyo State, but he was born in Gambari, a village very close to Ibadan in Oyo State, right? That was where he was born, and he was born on the 25th of September 1944. He had his primary, secondary education in Ibadan, Oyo State. He attended the Ibadan Boys High School and also the Olivest Baptist High School here in Ibadan, Oyo State, all in Ibadan, Oyo State. And then for university education, he studied chemical engineering at a university in Belgium. University of Liège, I guess. I'm not sure if I got the pronunciation right. Of course, I'm not from Belgium, but he had his university education in Belgium. And afterwards, he stayed in service. He worked because, of course, that time they had all of these grants and scholarships, able to travel out to study and work. So he worked with Total, and it was with Total, the oil company, for about 13 years now. He was there for about 13 years. And as at the time he was leaving civil work and, being an employee and all that, he was already a director at one of the banks, then the Standard Trust Bank. He was one of their directors as at then. But Ladoja's journey is one that is eventful, right? Because the thing is this, in Ibadan, Oyo State, to become the Olubadan, they have two arms. There is a military arm and there's a civil arm. Compared to other, not just Yoruba community, other communities where there is kingship, it's usually among the royal family. You have some set of families that are the royal blood, right? And then they maybe rotate it, depending on however way they want to do it. They rotate and say, oh, is this family that is going to ascend after the passing of the king who was from this family? You know how they do that. But in Ibadan, it's not necessarily by your family. It's by your, I don't know. It's just there's the Egbe Otun Balogun, Egbe, and there's the Egbe Balogun, and there's the Egbe Otun. Do you understand? The civil are the Otuns, the Baloguns are the military. So it's by promotion in the chieftaincy ranking, right? So you can start as whatever, you can be Ikenrioba. Ikenrioba is literally the fourth to the king. So you're waiting to be promoted. You know, you get promoted, you are Abese, you are this one, you are that one, you know, it's a promotion. That's how you get there. So if you recall that when the previous Olubadan died, Oba Olakuleyin, God rest his soul, who just used under a year in office, right? He spent under a year and he died like 2 days after his 90th birthday. This man, a lot of persons felt like, oh, it was Ladoja that should be king. That was after the previous, right? Not the person that Oba Ladoja has now succeeded. But you understand, his predecessor, the person that man succeeded. A lot of persons felt like 2024 was when Ladoja should have become king, that he's been patiently waiting because of his ranking also in the chieftaincy thingy. It was like, oh, it should be the next in line. That is why you will see that a lot of persons, especially when Taye Currency performed, people were like, oh, they put politics in it because, you know, Shey Makinde was not really in support of Ladoja. Ladoja and Tinubu are friends and all of those things. So people felt like it was politics, and that was why they invited Taye Currency, who is friends with Shey Tinubu, you understand, to come and perform. And that was why he said he used the lyrics he did and all of those songs, turning it sort of into like a political campaign, each thing, right? Supporting, you understand now? Right. So Ladoja has been there post to become king for a long time. But let's continue talking about his journey to now this crown that he wears. Then in 1992, the short-lived Third Republic, Ladoja served as a senator from 1992 until 1993. About a year, he was a senator in the Third Republic in Nigeria and under the SDP, Social Democratic Party then. Then, after the crash of the Third Republic, the Fourth Republic, and all of those things, in 2003, right, Ladoja contested and he won the election. He was sworn in as the governor of Oyo State in 2003, May of 2003, like he used to be, and all of those things. And his deputy was Adebayo Alao Akala. Now, that happened. He was there, but it was in PDP. And one of the PDP chieftains that really supported him becoming governor was Alhaji Lamidi Adedibu. By 2004, himself and Alhaji Lamidi Adedibu were having clash, especially when it came to appointing government official, right? You know, he's of course going to have cabinet members and all that. So Adedibu wanted to giving people, right? Because I mean, I was instrumental in putting you here, and that was when politics was really tough in Nigeria. If you remember that year, 2003, 2007, 2011 even, it was very serious politically in Nigeria. People were dying, political candidates were dying. You know, we saw governorship aspirants in Nigeria, in Ekiti State die. Funshaw Williams in Lagos died. Bola Ige died in 2003. You know, do you understand? So it was really tough period in Nigeria politics. It's not, and I feel like godfatherism sort of has been toned down in the country, but then, oh my goodness. Anyways, himself and Adedibu had issues, right? Concerning cabinet membership and all that. By 2005, it was worse. And some of the PDP, you know, executives were telling Ladoja to just listen to this man and do what he wants you to do, but he refused. And he faced the consequences, because in January of 2006, Ladoja was impeached as governor in Oyo State, right? And of course, his deputy, Adebayo Alao Akala, was sworn in immediately as governor in the state. Now, Alao Akala was there. Ladoja went to court, went to the appeal court. Appeal court said, oh, no, you're still governor. The impeachment cannot hold and all of those things. But they didn't allow. So he had to go to the Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court also backed the appeal court judgment to say reinstate Rasheed Ladoja. Let him finish his tenure as governor. I mean, it was 2006. He was supposed to leave office 2007, right? So November of 2006, he was reinstated and he continued his administration as the governor in Oyo State, of course. And that happened 2007. He left. He wanted to bid again for second term. And of course, he already had issues with the party. He supported APC member. It was very tough because even when it came to chairmanship and all those in the local government, he was supporting ADC then, where ADC was supporting them then. And he was hoping to become governor, but it didn't happen. It was his former deputy, who was the PDP aspirant, that now won that election. So he used just one term in office as governor in Oyo State. Alao Akala became governor in 2007. And as Alao Akala was coming, all the chairman people, all the people that thanks to Ladoja, became chairman in those local governments. Alakala first of all sacked all of them and put his PDP people. It was really tough, right? So when it comes, when we're talking about politics, Ladoja is such a strong name in Oyo politics, even in Nigeria politics, right? But he had his own share. But still, the people of Ibadan loved him. They really did love him. They do love him. You can see it by how much, how they came out en masse to celebrate his coronation and ascension of the throne. Now, let's continue. 2011, 2015, he tried to be governor. It did not work for him. So he sat back at home. He continued as a chief and all of those things. So let's get now into this chief thingy and how he became the Oba. Right. So, I mentioned earlier that it's civil and military. So you can either come by being the Oba, by being the Balogun. It's not by family. If you are the Balogun and there is an Otun. Now, Balogun is like level 23, Otun is like level 22. So it depends on what level you have. If the civil next in line, Otun Oba, is maybe like level 23 and you the Balogun, you are level 22. If the current king dies, it is you level 23 that will become the Olubadan of Ibadan. Do you understand? So when the previous Olubadan died, right, his predecessor's predecessor, when that man died and it was time to install a new Oba, of course, Sheyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, had to, endorse whoever the Olubadan would be. Because of Ladoja's position then, it wasn't like the Otun. So as much as people wanted him to be the Oba, the civil line, he could not. It was the Balogun. Do you understand? So they had to put Oba Olakuleyin there. And Oba Olakuleyin did something beautiful because as soon as he ascended the throne, he promoted Ladoja immediately to Otun Oba. Do you understand? The next in line in the civil regard. So it's alternated. Sometimes not alternated, but you have the military and the civil, the military and the civil. That's how they alternate kingship in Ibadan. So he became Otun, and they even gave him an Oba title, like a beaded this and crown and necklaces and all of those things, signifying that, oh, you're not just Otun, but you're legal, like you're almost an Oba. There's nothing anybody wants to do. Which is why when the previous Oba died, Oba Olakuleyin, when he passed on in July, it didn't take long for them to pick Ladoja and for his coronation to be September, because I mean, do you understand? It's sort of like it was a case of it should have always been you. And I heard, although I can't verify, but I heard that the previous Olubadan, if he did not become Olubadan, of course, it's not family situation in Ibadan, but you understand, it's family. Nobody in his family might get to that position. So they just had to put him there. Do you understand? I guess that's what happened. Anyways, that's the gist of how Oba Rasheed Ladoja became the Olubadan of Ibadan in Oyo State, and it was a very, very loving affair. I'm happy. I'm not from Ibadan, Oyo State, but if you're from there, let me know what you think about the coronation of Oba Rasheed Ladoja as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan. And of course, we hope and pray that his reign and his tenure will be a fruitful one. It will be a loving one, and Nigeria at large will witness some growth, right? I'd like to hear what you think, to know what you think. I can't hear, but I'd like to see it in the comment section. You can drop your thoughts and your opinion concerning this Oba Ladoja's coronation and his ascension. What do you think? I would like to hear from you. Thank you very much. And if you don't agree with any of the facts I've just spewed here, you can let me know in the comment section. Let's talk about it, right? We are not like journalists, of course. You need to understand that all of these are things I've taken off the internet, and we've tried to do our research to bring it for your viewing pleasure. They're all for entertainment purposes. Please make of that what you will. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.